Oh, that's pretty helpful. But
I mean,
anyways,
you can cut it up. You can cut it up even more. Anyway,
gotcha.
Go ahead.
This is the Bear Thoughts podcast. We do this every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Should be the time here at the Bear Thoughts channel. Be sure to be in the chat if you ever have any questions for us or like to get involved with us. And be sure to stick around for anything. And let's see what we're going to talk to today. But as always, we have Corvo. How you doing this evening?
What's up, everybody?
And
hydrating.
And a disembodied stealthy. There's the hands. All right. So if you see someone in the background that says, well, from y'all's point of views, is AKP day. Well, yeah, happy Burr. You can get the idea that it is someone's birthday on Corvo's side. And it's one of his kids, just turned 7. Which one?
Yep. Ethan.
Ethan just turned 7. So be sure to leave Ethan some wishes and some good love for his birthday. But he's already had him a little, you might say, a handful or 2 fingers full. He dipped into the brown stuff with 2 fingers.
love my child to death, but he sabotaged his own birthday cake, man. His own birthday cake.
Oh God, we were talking about it beforehand, and I couldn't help but laugh. Like he didn't even like the kids. Okay, I'm gonna let you go through the story, like how this all came about, and I'm gonna get into like my thoughts and why this is so funny.
So we have the cake mix and the icing down the hall in the kitchen. While I was at work and Stealthy was otherwise preoccupied, the oldest of the 2, his older brother, sees this and says, sweet and chocolate. I want that.
Opportunist.
So he goes and grabs it and busts it open. Shows it to his brother. Neither one of them thinking, hey, if this was here, then maybe there's going to be a cake. No, that part of it never entered their mind. And then with the precision of children with the 2-handed finger scoop of icing, they commenced to destroying this tub of icing. Matter of fact, here you go. Evidence. Half of it is gone.
I don't know. That's almost like 3/4.
Anyway, so to which I was slightly upset, as is their mother, because she had spent the day figuring out how to carve a cake into the shape that he wants it in.
Mm-hmm.
Had finally figured out exactly how she wants to do it and was about to go down and commence to making the cake when the icing disappeared. After a little discussion with them, we found out that the oldest took it, the youngest joined in to eating it, and then once I conveyed my disappointment to them and explained to them that they had just screwed Ethan out of his birthday cake, Ethan's reaction was more along the lines, well, I got icing, so I guess I'm good, and walks away. But the older of the 2 is now in tears, apparently, at the fact that he cost his brother this birthday cake.
Uh-huh.
And my thought was that, well, then you should have put more thought behind what you were doing before you did said act.
Mm-hmm.
And then, guys, I've been dealing with this for a while. The kids have been sneaking down and secretly taking stuff, from the kitchen and stuff. So I got tired of trying to guess who had done it and who hadn't.
Yeah, because there's always 2 of them, and they're always blaming each other because, that's what you do.
So I took one of my little security cameras, my little wise cams down there, and I set it up in the kitchen. And at first, the response to what happened to the icing was, icing? What icing? Until I showed them, guys, I have a camera set up in the kitchen. If you look right now, you can see your mom in the kitchen. Okay? Mm-hmm. You see it? You can see it, right? That's her right now. So do I need to rewind the security footage and see which one of you took it? Or are you going to tell me the truth? Because if I have to rewind it and find it out myself, then we're going to have a whole lot more explaining to do. To which Soren says, I did it.
Immediately fessed up.
Immediately fessed up because he knew. He knew that I was going to find out anyway. But me being me and being curious, Soren will sometimes cover for Ethan, so I went ahead and watched back the footage, and yes, he did take it. So that's how we know for sure who took it. And then Ethan can't deny that he was in on it because he was wearing evidence like war paint on his face.
It's like kids just don't have the concept of their own face like being covered with things. I don't know what it's about being younger, but like some reason we don't notice anything on our face until someone points it out.
Soren did better. He washed it off because the last time something like this happened, his mama called him out, took a picture of his face, and showed him that he had evidence all over his face. But this time around, he washed his face. He thought he was good, but he forgot his brother's face.
I'll do my own. You do yours. No. Because if you like, I don't care. I'm just thinking back in my head. I'm going. He has evidence on his face, and I don't want to get in trouble. So what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna tell him about it. I'm gonna let it be on his face. So when mommy and daddy finds him, they immediately go, "You," and not me, because I don't get it on my face.
Soren knows better than that. He knows me well enough to know that I'm not gonna assume out of the gate. Sounds good, by the way. He knows that I'm not gonna assume out of the gate just because he has evidence on him that Soren wasn't a part of it. I am not that person. I know children can learn. They get smarter. Okay. Which means I am it very well is capable of him saying, you know what, I'm going to leave that on his face to let him get in trouble. I'm going to wash mine. I already know that's a possibility. So out the gate, that's not what's happening. I'm going to go back to my camera, my eye in the sky, and I'm going to show you that you did this. To which that face was priceless.
So parents, take note. Get a camera in all your rooms. It may be a little weird, but just get in a camera in your rooms. Record it for every day. And when something happens, just go back and say footage. Because in real life, you can't do that kind of stuff.
See, here's the problem. Okay, in my house, I have a camera in the office because I have all this technology in here.
Yeah.
And I have a camera on the front porch and the back porch because I want to be able to see if packages are delivered or check on the animals or if they're in the backyard. Initially, there were no cameras like in the living room or in the boys' rooms because I was like, that's personal space. I don't want to encroach on that. But at some point when your children are fighting each other, and you can't tell who's actually started it or who instigated it or who did what because they're about the same age and they stay at the other end of the house where you can't visibly see it. You get tired of fighting with them. And then as a parent, I get tired of handing out blanket discipline. Because in reality, in a situation where you have two children fighting each other, you don't know who started and who was in the right, who was in the wrong. But you know that somebody has to be punished to make sure they don't do it again. The only option you have is blanket punishment.
Yeah, it's
which is not fair to the child. They ain't got no girls coming over. They ain't got none of that. In reality, all I'm doing is checking on them to make sure A, everything's okay, and B, find out who actually did what. So I bit the bullet and I put a camera in their rooms. Now, I will take those cameras out as soon as they get to a point where they have girls or friends coming over. There is a certain level of privacy I'm going to respect. I'm not going to go beyond that. But right now, they're not at that age. It's more about them fighting with each other. And I want to know who is actually in the wrong. So I will move those cameras when they get to an age that it's like, hey, you know what? They got friends coming over now. They got a girlfriend. They got other personal things going on. I'll move them somewhere else and use them for some other security purpose. Right now, I'm using it as a witness, basically.
Yeah.
And I do not look at the cameras unless there's crying, screaming, or something on that measure, or I heard something in the house that's not normally there, and I want to check on them. Other than that, I don't go to those cameras. Like, I would have never went and looked at that kitchen camera footage today had there not been an incident. It's not like I'm sitting there spying on them all the time. I don't do that.
Well, I would be putting those cameras when not in permanent uses, when it's like, okay, I'll have at the door so when I can see them go into their room with something they're not supposed to, or somebody goes in their room they're not supposed to.
Well, eventually one of them, when this happens, will go in the hallway and it'll catch both their doors, so that'll be fine. And the other one will probably go in the living room, because in Georgia, I don't know if you guys know this or not, if someone breaks into your house and you only have a camera, say, on your front door, right? You see them break in. Law comes and picks them up, takes them away, but half of your shit's been stolen. If there is not video evidence of them picking it up and walking out with it, like, say, if they had a friend standing at a window somewhere else and they were passing it out the window out of view of the camera, that person will only be charged with breaking and entering, because there is no proof that they stole anything. Okay. So, because of all the technology I have a camera pointed at the technology in this room, and I will eventually have it pointed at the technology in the living room. Because then if you break in, I have you breaking and entering because you're on camera kicking the door in.
Yeah.
And if you're stealing anything, you're probably in one of these two rooms, because that's where all the money is. Now I have you on camera doing that.
Wouldn't it? Okay, just a thought. Wouldn't you want to point it at, like, make sure there's no blind spots of doorways or windows? Just point at that, so when they start grabbing stuff and going to those said windows or doors, you can see them with things in their hands. Unless they keep
that's my point. That's my point. The way the camera is in this office right now, everything in this office is in that field of view, including the two windows in it and the door.
Yeah.
So if they take it out of either window in here or out of the door, they're on camera. You know, so at some point, yes, you will have it. It will be set up to where external windows and doors are covered, so that if they break in and they start trying to haul stuff out the windows or out the doors, they're going to get caught.
Are those cameras going to, like, okay, I'm thinking people are damn good hackers nowadays. There's people that try to hack into, like, web cameras all the time. There's people that try to hack into live monitors all the time. When you want to make sure those cameras, you tell me, because you probably have it set up in a certain way, those hackers couldn't access those cameras. I would imagine those cameras are not connected to. It just disconnected something. That's weird.
It's back now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so no, I have them set up where I can check the house via internet, but where that lives and how it's protected is on my hardware behind a firewall I set up. And unless you can break a 32-digit code, alphanumeric with special characters, you ain't getting in there. And I hate to tell you, but that 16 characters takes a very long time, so I doubled that.
You doubled the characters. Okay.
Right. So and yeah, there's always a chance somebody could hack the feed, but you know what? I don't. What guess?
I just like this. Somebody watching your family just somehow just creeps me out a little bit.
They would have to be next level to get in it. Like, for me, even if I wanted to hack my own shit and I played like I didn't know the password, Hallie would have to run for probably 7, 8, 9, 10 months to break this password.
Well, that's good. Good to know that you're.
And the other side is that is all the recorded footage is backed up to a location that even if you hacked it and shut the cameras down, and managed to walk in here and find a way to get to the security server that's locked in a safe with the 16-digit code, then you're still not going to destroy shit because there's a copy that's always continuously synced to an offsite location.
Okay. See, like my wife, she wants to get a, and one of the videos she was talking in the UPS uniform, came to a guy's door, and was knocking on the door with the package in his hand. You know, being a UPS uniform, was knocking on the door, and of course the guy answers the door. And I haven't seen the footage, but my wife's like, wouldn't you look for a UPS vehicle out in the road first? Just make sure, like, you know. But most of the time you see somebody in uniform with a package in their hand, and it's a well-known brand. You go check the door. Well, as soon as he opens the door, guy brandishes a knife and starts stabbing the dude. I mean, starts going at it. So I guess he was like a hitman or something, or a guy with a grudge or whatever. And that kind of stuff kind of freaks me out. But, you know, when I see somebody at my door, I normally look toward the road, just a habit. I'm not saying I would for sure look at the road, but, you know, maybe I'm a little sleepy, or maybe I'm a little lost in thought or whatever, and I don't go look out the road and go see a vehicle out there that is branding the uniform the person's wearing. And I go answer the door. I don't have no peephole. I have no camera. All I have is just open door. That's all I got. Open door, there's person, I get assaulted. And that kind of stuff makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
So that's why I'm like, having a camera is more than just let me go see what people come and take my stuff or do to my family. It's more like, let me make sure I open and answer this door, and the person on the other side isn't here to like be a maniac.
Like the company that I use, the brand of camera I buy, they make those doorbell ringers too.
Yeah.
It has a camera on the freaking bell. Okay. There you go.
I would want one of the sensory ones. So as soon as I think they notice it sensors a body, it starts recording. So like they don't worry about pressing that button. Just
you can set them up. I had to dial the sensitivity down on the one in Soren's room because every time they moved, I was getting a freaking alert. And I was like, oh crap, let me dial it down a little bit. So I finally got it to where you could set like a motion box. Like motion has to be large enough in this box, right? So like I got it set for what I would consider a standard adult motion box. Because if they're fighting down there and it's them, chances are I'm gonna hear it and I'll go check it myself.
Yeah.
I don't need an alert from there to fight.
I'm getting your little mini PC set up, so I gotta get everything programs on there. I haven't reset my computer.
We're back. We're not buffered anymore. Anyway, so I people pick at me because of the amount of cameras I have, but honestly, I don't really care. If it means that I can be at work and know my family's safe and quickly check in on them, you know, or I get an alert in a part of the house that I know that it's not cool because Jasmine's probably asleep or the boys are probably asleep, then I need to check it, you know. The other side of that is when the power goes out, it sends me an alert too. Hey, power's off at your house. So I can call the wife and be like, hey, power's off. You might want to, you know, check on the kids, you know, or stuff like that. The nice thing is if you buy the outdoor cameras from them, they're a little more expensive because they're waterproof and all that good stuff. But guess what? You can spend an extra $25 and get a solar panel to charge it and run it and without having to use power from your house.
Yeah, that part would definitely be the nicest part, getting solar panels. My wife is not too keen or rushed to get solar panels for this home because she knows she doesn't want to live in this house forever. But I just want to get one so I can just once I leave, hope I can unplug it and take it with me.
Well, see, that's the nice thing about this one. Like for the camera, you figure out where you want your camera, you put your camera there. Figure out where you had the best light, put your solar panel there, and you run a wire from your solar panel to your camera, and that's it. and then you can connect the camera to your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is encrypted by you, so if you don't have a strong enough password, that's on you. You know, and then that's it. That's all there is to it. Now you have a camera that's running without using power from your home, keeping eye out for you all the time.
Mm.
You know, I love it. I mean, it's great. Now I don't have any of the outdoor cameras. What I have is I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of the ones that pan, tilt, and everything, and has night vision. And then I have 1 of the small ones that doesn't pan and tilt, but it still has night vision, and it colored night vision at that, Grumpy.
Oh, okay.
And that's so. And the nice thing is the little ones, they're magnetic. The base.
Yeah.
So, like, you know how you got your little metal stand back there that you do your printing on?
Mm-hmm.
You can literally just stick that bitch to the side of it and run your cable over and plug it up and kick the Wi-Fi on it. You're good.
See, in some way, I would like that because this would be easy to do and move and do what I want. Although I wouldn't want to like it, the fact is, if a robber comes over, they can just grab the camera because it's magnetic now. It's just like,
well, but that's the thing, though. It's like where you put it and how you have it set up to record. Like, I mean, I wouldn't stick it on your table. That's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
But, like, I would put it somewhere that they wouldn't. I mean, dude, you have so many freaking
I can hide
shit back there. You're telling me you can't find a single spot on one of them shelves to hide that bitch kind of half behind a figurine where they won't really notice it?
It'd be like finding Waldo in my house.
It's like the camera's literally like 2 inches by 2 inches.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't very big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If I could make like a ribbon cable to the camera actual lens and move the base somewhere and move the camera lens somewhere else, I would literally like hide it like somebody's holding it or some shit. Make a 3D model for it. I don't know, but it definitely sounds. Definitely, I'd like to get a camera system in this household. Like, you know, when I was talking to security companies, like, well, you could buy a camera and access it, but you won't be able to access it online. Like, wouldn't you rather have something like goes like a sound go off? Like, no, I want to see the fucker. I want to see the person that's in my house.
Access it online. Shit, I was looking at my cameras from your house.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sure there's a way to access it myself, but I don't want to just hear a woo, woo, woo. Like, no. I want to see the fucker. I want to see the person I'm hunting down in my household. I don't be like, I'm not hunkering down. I ain't that person. But at the same time, I don't have a firearm yet. My wife has talked to me. We're looking at a few, but we gotta get the means, especially since I'm about to pay off my truck this month. Yay! No more truck payments. Fucking took forever. 5 years or more, maybe. I can't remember. But so we're gonna actually have some means in our household. But yeah, I like to see the person, not be waiting for the cops to show up after 15 minutes after they're done whatever they wanted to do. Murder, kill, steal, and run away. They know they got time, even with the alarm's going off. No, I want to see it.
I have a friend, you know him. He goes by the name of Rollover. He politely told me one day that any fool, he's like, listen, there's one within hand's reach anywhere you go in this house. Not to mention there's cameras every fucking where, so it don't matter where he breaks in at. You're going to get an alert. You're going to look at your phone and go, oh, that bastard's in the kitchen. Then you're going to grab the one that's closest to you, and then you're going to be like, oh, now we got to clean up in the kitchen. You know? He's like, he said, I am a brave person, and I would not break into this fucking house for fear of AR 12 gauge coming out. He's like, I like my limbs attached.
The only thing I would be worried about, because, like, you know, I know some states, I don't know about mine. I'd look into the laws. I'm sure when you do, and you'll get a firearm, they always say, hey, take classes to find out what you can and can't do. I know some people have the safe harbor, the castle, doctrine, right? Where if you're in the house, you are forfeiting your life pretty much, and in every sense of it. But I know some states, if they turn around in your house and they still run, you cannot like plug them in. Meaning,
if they run, that's a different story. I'm not going to shoot somebody running away from me. As long as they hadn't hurt anybody, you can run fine. I got you on camera. They'll catch your ass later. However, if at any point I feel that myself or my family is in danger, I will put a bullet in your ass.
Anytime you brandish anything that I think is something dangerous, I don't care if you brandish a butter knife at me. Guess what? I'm plugging you.
Here's the thing, though. In Georgia, there's yeah, it's a 3 and done. So you
don't want to get shot in this house.
You get shot 3. You can fire 3 times. Anything after 3 is considered premeditated. Now it's on you. Because if you've hit that bitch 3 times and he ain't dead, and you shoot him a 4th time, chances are he ain't trying to get away no more. He's just laying there. You're killing him because you want to. However, in this household, we have a rule that's called 1 and done. Because I'm not going to prison. So if I shoot you, one of 2 things is going to happen, depending on the severity of the offense. If you have hurt my wife or my children, you will not, I repeat, will not get up again. If you have not hurt anybody, but you've threatened them, I will immobilize you until the police gets here. And I have trained enough and shot enough, and my dad was a Marine, so he helped train me. I guarantee you both of those options can and will happen because I am precise.
So you'll have that three shot. Okay, I saw this video like a few months back. I wouldn't say it was recently. I saw it on Twitter. And of course, there was a bunch of people in the comments just like, "Oh my God, that was terrible. That person shouldn't have done this." Let me describe you the situation. It's an open store. I guess it's maybe like a place you maybe go get some maybe some cash, or you like a bank or something like that. Instead of it being like it's you walk through the door, you go to the people. I don't know what kind of store this is, but you can just walk straight in, right? You walk straight into it. It's open air and everything. There's a brother, talking to the lady behind the register, and they're doing some transaction. There's an older gentleman behind them, and about like 15 seconds of the video, 3 guys start walking into the camera in this open air store of some sort. Well, one of the guy brandishes a gun at the registered woman and starts threatening her. So she's trying to get the money out. Well, the brother that was already right there, it's like, he's not looking at me. He's not looking at me at all. He's not even paying attention. So he grabs her to the side, pulls it out, caps him, do shots, right? Of course, the other 2 run away because they don't apparently have nothing. Caps the dude. He's shot. He gets hit in the arm. When he goes to try to turn with this gun, he caps him again. And on the way down, he pops him in the head. Pop, pop, pop. Dude's dead. He's on the floor. And so the guy nudges him to make sure he was down and out. And people are like, "Oh my God, that was terrible. Why did that guy do it 3 times?" I'm like, shoot him 1 time. You didn't get a fatal shot. It scared the shit out of him. He was going to turn and retaliate. There was no way of you guys just let him retaliate. No. You shot him again. He didn't go down. 1 more time, right to the head. Down for the count. There was no way coming back from that. And people were like, "Why would you do that so many times?" I'm like, you don't know.
He ain't trying to die.
Yeah. He ain't gonna just stand there and go, "Yeah, just pop me in the shoulder, pop me in the chest. Oh, I'm just gonna roll over and stop." No, I have a gun in my hand. I'm gonna retaliate if you shoot me. If you don't kill me in the first 2 shots or first shot, I'm going to retaliate. I don't care who you are. But the guy's like, I know better than this. Pop you in the head. I'm not letting you get back up from this and retaliate, just kill me or anybody else around. And I'm like, that was, to me, that makes sense. I wouldn't feel, I had no fault for that guy. He was protecting himself and the woman behind the register.
Here's my scenario on that. There was two faults here on both sides. One, the guy that pulled the gun and shot the guy with the gun. He made a mistake. He shot him in the wrong place to begin with. One bullet should have stopped that. He didn't have to kill him. He should have put one in the arm that was holding the gun. Or the hand. He'd have dropped it. At that point, he is now no longer a lethal threat. You should be able to either A, subdue him with your firearm as a threat, or B, he's going to run the fuck away because he ain't got nothing to retaliate with anymore. Okay? So that was the first fault. The fault by the other guy is that even though he was hit in the wrong place to be fatal, this guy has already got the upper hand on you. He's already put one bullet in you. Making the decision to turn and brandish that firearm that he just shot your ass for is not a good decision because he's already proven he has the mental fortitude and the skills to shoot your ass. If you threaten him, it will ultimately end in termination.
Yeah.
So both of them made mistakes. But, I mean, if I'm in that situation, you're robbing a store. You don't see me. I have my gun. Now, if I manage to get my gun out and know that I'm about to be able to put a bullet in you to stop this, I'm not shooting you in a place that doesn't affect the problem. The problem is you have a gun. So I'm going to put a bullet in something that is controlling that weapon to make you lose the ability to control that weapon.
Gotcha. Well, okay, so I would say he was probably like 3 feet away, so it wouldn't be that hard. But like only thing I was giving him is probably like maybe he wasn't as thoughts. Maybe he was a little nervous. I don't know. Again, I don't know the person, but then again, he could have been like, I'm not used to shooting people, so maybe this is a little bit unnerving. But he had to pull it out. The guy was on his, I guess he left, and he was pulling his gun from his right. He had to sneakily grab his gun and go across the chest with it. Like, it wasn't like a full body tilts. It was just a bang. Like, it kind of was like a little sneaky little boop. So aiming wasn't really his really function until the guy started moving. Then he finally actually turned his body. Of course, I'm not a gun shooter, so I wouldn't know how to like brandish a gun in that scenario. But then he finally turned his body to one-handedly, which I thought was dumb. I thought you always do it two-handed, even with a gun, with a pistol in your hand. But he branched one hand, pop, pop, pop.
It depends on the scenario. Pop. You're more accurate with two hands. It's going to be more accurate. You're going to have more control of your firearm. However, there is not in every scenario do you have the time to get yourself into perfect shooting. Sometimes you have to shoot one hand.
But he was going across the chest his first shot. So I was like, that was a little sneaky, right? You know, he just pop, then turns his body, pop, pop. It's like, I get that. You're not trying to let the guy know so he can turn his gun towards you and then, you know, brandish it towards you so you can't make a move. But the guy was definitely fixated on the woman to get the money and threatening her, and he just like dono walled or just blindsided the dude right here. Like, he didn't even care about him at all. Like, he even like pointed at him at any point. He just pointed at her. I guess he thought that was enough, and his two goons behind him were going to back him up. But they just ran away the moment the first shot went off. He didn't shoot the guy with the gun. Branson, the woman didn't like happy finger, just pull it and take her out. Right, like, he wasn't in that mindset.
Right, and that's another flaw by the person that was pulling the gun to defend them. In a situation where they already have the gun aimed at an individual, the best thing to do is wait for that gun to not be pointed at the individual. So, like, she's trying to get the money, right?
Yeah.
At the point that he received the money, he would probably have moved his weapon out from in front of her. Then would have been the optimal time to put a bullet somewhere in him to demobilize him. Not because, like you said, he got his gun like this. If his finger's on the trigger and his natural instinct, which most people are in pain, is to squeeze, you by shooting him may kill her by proxy.
Yeah. So, right, so she was lucky.
You got to think about all that shit. That's why military professionals, police officers, and all that shit go through so much training. Because there's more than just, oh, he pulled a gun, let me shoot his ass and stop this shit. That goes through a scenario like that. You got to think about, if I shoot him in his arm, he's holding his gun, he's aiming it at this woman. Is his hand going to close? Is he going to flinch from the pain and pull the trigger? If so, is she in the range to be shot? You know, there's a lot that goes into a scenario. Now, granted, we have the perspective to sit here and think about it and talk about it because we're not in the moment.
Yeah, that's always in the moment.
In
always
the moment,
things change.
In the moment, that shit goes really, really fast. So, either do or don't. The way that works is it's all about A, your mental preparedness, and B, if you've been trained, how you were trained. Okay? Because a lot of people don't realize what you see people do with their weapons, and you're impressed. Like, this guy popped a cap in this guy's knee and shot him in his elbow and made him not able to shoot the gun. Really good shots. He demobilized the guy. Nobody died. That's impressive. Chances are he wasn't even thinking when he did that shit. That was all instinctual reaction to some training that he's had somewhere in his life. And it was just, that shit was even flow, baby.
Yeah, well,
that's all it was.
By the time the guy grabbed his gun from his side and then took the first shot, that probably was like 4 seconds. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 at the very end. But it was so quick. And I heard this from a guy that was in the military. It doesn't matter really how much training you got until you're there taking someone's life. Things in your mind just change.
It will change. It changes. Your perception on things change because it then goes from a training scenario of this is how you have to do it if you want to survive to I'm really about to shoot this sumbitch and this is gonna fuck somebody's life up.
Yeah, good. And they're thinking I'm going home to dinner tonight. Like, you ain't stopping me from going home from dinner. And both sides are thinking that. I'm like, I ain't dying here. I'm gonna do whatever I got to make sure I don't die. And that's such a change of thoughts. You know, we're looking at 2020 hindsight. You can think of every single scenario, and you know, John McCree hit the hand, hit the gun, you know, bounce that bitch up 2 times and bitch slap the guy at the end, and you're thinking, oh, I'd have been completely a badass. But then the moment comes around, and you're realizing you're not John McCree no more. You're just regular guy. Like, I want to survive. I want to make sure everybody else is safe, and I'm taking out the threat. That's all.
Right. It's about the thought. It's about what, and I hate to say it, but not everybody has the mental ability to even pull the trigger.
Oh yeah, some people are different.
Even people that trained every day, all day long, there's been proven facts that there's certain people, even trained, put in a scenario they can't pull the trigger because they can't. They realize at a certain point that pulling this trigger most likely will end this person's existence. And then on top of that, by proxy, ruin whoever cares about this person's life. Whereas then you have people like me, I want to go home to my children. Okay? So I can promise you in that scenario, I'm going home. And I'm going to shoot first.
And I will only kill you if I have no doesn't.
I promise you, I will go home.
Mm,
You know, I'm not about that. I love my kids and I love my wife.
true.
And unless you catch me unawares, where I have no idea what's going on, I promise you, anybody that tries to come at me is gonna have a damn handful.
Somebody's gonna be remembering that day. Someone's not. They're gonna be dead. But I can definitely see that, and that's why I'm saying security. Like I'd rather defend myself than have to rely on someone else. Of course, I've been told, you know, by a guy in the Marines. I don't even know if it's just true. I think he's probably just talking out of his ass. He's like, "Oh, you got the eyes of a killer." I'm like, "Eyes of a killer? How do you have eyes of a killer?" So I can see you. You probably wouldn't hesitate to shoot somebody. I'm like, yeah, I probably wouldn't, but I don't really know that until I tried. Like, trust me, I've seen enough people over my days. You have the eyes.
There are indicators in certain people. You can look at them and tell.
Mm.
You know, they might not have ever done it, but you can tell that there's certain indicators in looking at people and how they act and how they talk and the way they look at things. You can tell that in a push come to shove situation, they will kill you. They ain't about the dying thing. They about the surviving thing. And the people you got to worry about is people that want to survive.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Those are probably the most threatening. All right, so let's jump into the next, I can't say topic, but it's something I brought up to Stealthy. I don't know if she ever brought up to you. I want to get your thoughts on it if not. So Twitch is doing two new things. I'm going to go with one first, and then I'm going to go into the other one.
Okay.
So let's just say in your scenario, and someone comes to your chat, and they're very impolite, rude, mean-hearted, and maybe say some things about your wife that are a little bit uncomfortable. And
This you want the normal person answer, right? You don't want my real answer, right?
no, I want all of it, but we're gonna go to this. Okay,
boy.
So he goes to the channel, and then he knows that Stealthy is streaming, and he goes over to Stealthy's chat, and he starts doing the same thing, right? But let's say he doesn't, right? So you ban him, right? As you would. Fuck the dude. Fuck the person. Whoever they are, I don't care. They're out of here. Well, you don't want them to be in Twitch Stealthy's channel either. So now Twitch is gonna be doing where you could share your ban list to anybody you know. Friends, colleagues, whatever. They're banning your chat, and they're saying things that you don't like, and you definitely don't want them to go over to their chat and be the same toxic little shit.
Right.
Do you think that's a good idea to be able to share your ban list with other people you know, judging on the idea of how they were in your chat?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's okay because and we can have a difference of opinion on that, and I kind of get because I know you why you wouldn't. But this is why I think it's okay. Okay. For example, you come to my chat, you start saying shit you're not supposed to be saying, you get rowdy, you start talking shit about my wife and everything, I ban you, right? Now, chances are Stealthy ain't gonna want you in her chat no way. So if we can share that list and she can see it, she knows as soon as you come in, wait a minute, that's that asshole that did that shit. Ban. And I can see it working in a positive light going down that road. However, to Stealthy's point, I can also see it becoming a negative thing.
Okay.
Quickly, because, what you have is follow the leader syndrome.
Woodpack.
Right. Now you don't have to come into there and be all blah, 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 or whatever, because you can ban any damn body anytime you want to from your own shit.
A good example is actually a situation that just occurred, remember?
I'll get there. But you can ban anybody for any reason. It's your channel, right?
Yeah.
But if you have that list shared, and I see you out on that list, I don't I'm going to assume you banned them because they did something you didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
But you might have just been a dick that day and decided, hey, you know what? Fuck you. I don't like you banned, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not necessarily fair. If the person wasn't really being a dick, you were just having a bad day. Now they're on the list that all of us get to see.
Mm.
And we're going to go, no, we're not going to let him in because he must have been a dick. Well, what if he wasn't? Now multiple people are punishing him because you had a bad day. So I can see a positive and a negative side.
Well, for example, I know that some streamers, it's not an actual ban. They have it where they can ban certain people's channel. It's supposed to be just it's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be a joke. Like people can get themselves banned.
Like they say something they just don't agree with, and it's like, you know what, fuck it, ban you, bye. It's like
no. Like they have it as a redeem.
No, it's like a redeem where you can get yourself banned. It's kind of like a funny little joke.
Oh, I have that. I have that.
And they get themselves banned.
No, so now you have a list out there of banned people, and they just put themselves on it thinking it was funny.
Yeah, but you don't be turn it off. If you're a good person, you turn it off afterwards. But if you're a dick, you leave it on.
Right.
Now, if they shared like timeouts with people, like maybe they're being timed out for, like, let's say you're timed out for like 3 days worth of streams, that may be useful.
With the reason, I could see being a little bit better, but even with that, it's gonna be bad because, for example, there's somebody that recently they caused an issue in a Discord, okay, and they caused such an issue that they got themselves, in a sense, unmodded. Okay? Notice what I said, unmodded. They have basically created another server, and they're taking people from the original Discord and taking them over there to chit-chat behind everybody else's back. Okay? Now, let's say that person just bans somebody with the ban list. No reason other than the fact that they're...
What's up, Leo? I see you.
Now what you're going to do, because now everybody can see that they got banned, they're not going to ask questions. I personally, if you have a problem with somebody and you think I should ban them, I'd rather you come to me personally and go, hey, look, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. And then I talk to whoever it is and find both sides of the story and then decide for myself. I don't like that share list. End of story. It gives too much power to one person.
It can become a waterfall effect.
I don't know if you can, like, of course I haven't got no shared lists. I don't know if you can like if they send me a list and if I can approve or deny it, like, hey, do you approve of this person's ban list? Approve, then I got all the names, or deny, and I don't got none of the names. I think the reason why they're doing this, as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong here. As you well know, there's been not very much of late, but in this past year, people rating channels of ethnicities or of sexual ideologies or something like that, and then like hate rating, right? They'll go over there, rate their channel, and just another but a slew of racist or mean or hateful, hurtful comments in the chat, and the wolf pack mentality, right? And then they'll start banning them. Well, instead of going like, hey, here's all the names, start writing it out and putting it in your channel, or you're gonna have that happen to you because you are set race or ideology or whatever. You can just take my entire list and ban all those people, so when they come over to your channel, you won't have that issue. But then it comes in the part where they just having a bad day, where they just following along with it, were they just being a troll at that very moment, and they don't really think that way, or they don't normally act that way. It could be a kid. I'll
be honest.
I could have been hacked.
There's days that if I was me watching me, or if I was me, I would ban myself. You know what I mean? I get having a bad day. I think depending on the severity of what's happened, right? Like if it's just one of those things where like I'm in your channel, I'm having a bad day, I'm like, hey, you're being a dumbass today, or something like that. I get you being able to ban me, but I don't think everybody else that you know should ban me for making one comment on a bad day saying you're a dumbass. You know what I mean? However, if I'm in your channel and I'm saying lewd things or crude things about your wife, your family, shit like that, by all means, you need to let your people know, because that's not a person you want around. I don't know that a list that is shared, though, is necessarily the best way to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there should be a more personable way of you letting me know that somebody was in your channel doing that, you know, than just putting them on a list, because I see them on the list. And if they don't, for some reason, give us descriptors, or hell, even if they do give us descriptors, you can write any damn thing you want in there as a description. I don't know. But if you have to look me in my eyes like we're talking right now, and you have to tell me why they're being banned, I can tell, are you bullshitting me or not?
Yeah.
And if you're not bullshitting me, then I'm gonna insta ban that sumbitch when I see him. But if I can look at you and tell Grumpy's just having a dick day, and he's just being a little bit of an asshole today, I'm more likely to give the guy a pass the first time he comes in to see how he acts. And then if he doesn't act right, ban him then. You know, I think we're taking so much out of actual communication between ourselves that it's hindering us.
Yes.
It's hurting us.
And of course, it's really hard to base someone's attention or their reasons or whatever through a text-based format. Like, you don't know if they're being sarcastic. You don't know if they're being funny.
I mean, hell, they could have accidentally hit caps lock, not meant to holler at you. You don't know.
Yeah. And, and you know, you have no idea to base someone's true intentions just based through text. I've gotten in trouble talk to somebody through text, and they not pick up my intentions because they can't hear my voice.
That shit happens all the time to me.
It's like,
you know, it happens with Stealthy when she's communicating with me.
Yeah.
I don't always get, she writes a text and I'm like thinking I know what this text is about because I read it, right? But I didn't hear how she said it. I don't understand the inflection on certain things. So I totally get the meaning wrong. And then, oh shit, now we got a problem. And it's usually on my end because I didn't understand it because I wasn't in person. I didn't get, for lack of a better term, I didn't get the feeling that was supposed to be meant with those words. Okay. However, you said you wanted my whole answer to your scenario, right?
Yes.
So first off, here's my whole answer. I'm an IT professional. Part of my job is being able to go places on the intraweb that may not necessarily supposed to be able to go there, okay?
Yeah.
I have been a good boy this time. Come on, I want to hear you say it. I want to hear you say I was a good boy.
Oh, because
yep.
We all talk about that later.
I want to hear you say I've been a good boy though. Okay, I've been a good boy. But in most of those situations, if you come into my chat, I am perfectly fine with you talking shit about me. However, if you pull my wife or my children into your lewd, crude, socially unacceptable comments, two things are going to happen. You're going to be banned. Then I'm going to a cedar chest behind me and I'm pulling out a laptop that has an operating system on it called Linux Kali. That operating system is specifically designed and developed to be able to go places and find things. Whether it be IP addresses, MAC addresses, home addresses, you know, GPS coordinates, the color of your grass in your front yard, your flowers on your vases, any of that. Any of that. Okay? The next thing that's going to happen is, depending upon the severity of said comments, either I myself will personally show up, which is probably the worst case scenario. Well, next to the worst case scenario. Or, if I'm not capable, the Tooth Fairy will show up.
I like Tooth Fairy.
in either event, you will cease and desist all contact with me.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
because I have a problem. It's called
Ha!
it's
Problem.
called family defense mechanism.
Mm.
It's highly overdeveloped in me.
Mm.
It has a lot to do with the way I was raised and the people in my family and the things that they've done throughout their lives. So I don't always react typically. Like some people would get butthurt at that. They would get mad. They would go off on a tirade in chat with the other person.
Mm.
They'd cry about it a little bit. They'd bitch about it a little bit. When they'd ban them, and then they'd let that be it. A couple days later, it's all gone.
Yeah.
I do not do that when it comes to my family.
You don't let it go.
I'm like a dog with a really big ass bone. I'll start gnawing at one end of that sumbitch, and I'm gonna keep gnawing until I get to the other end.
Yeah, I get that.
So that is the actual Corvo response. What most other people in the world should do
If not do that and just
not do that. Have your bout with them, ban them,
sing your song, let it go.
Communicate with your friends, let them know what happened, and then let that shit go in a couple of days. Do not do what Corvo does.
Do not repeat.
I have a problem. Hi, my name is Corvo, and I'm overly violent in the protection of my family.
Okay. So there's the new one that they're going to be adding, possibly.
Okay.
It's in beta right now, and it's supposedly going to help. Get this. Help small streamers be discovered. Now, I have my qualms about this. My qualms is there's literally be with a billion of streamers at any given time on Twitch, depending on where you are in the world, too.
Yep.
So, let's just say, for all sake of arguments, I'm just chatting. Literally billions of people streaming at any given moment. Any given moment. Right. Streaming is such an easy, accessible thing to do nowadays. Anybody with a basic laptop with a camera, most of them have mics on it, can be a streamer almost in just chatting section. So anybody can be a streamer. With a phone, you could be a streamer. You could be a streamer at any time. So it's thousands of not thousands, billions of people streaming in every single category, every single day and thing. So let's say I go to, all second purpose, I go to Genshin Impact, right? There's about 15,000 people streaming that game. Anywhere from hundreds of thousands of viewers to 0 viewers. And they mishmash the viewers between high streamers and low streamers. Still, the high numbers are still toward the top, though. But, it's a mishmash. Well, now they're going to have it. Let's say you're going to Genshin Impact, and I'm close to the top. And I hover my mouse over my stream, or let's say you hover your mouse over my stream. Instead of having to click on my stream and open up and immediately get a freaking ad, you hover your mouse over my stream, a window will pop up toward the top of Twitch, and it will show my stream, no ads, and start to play that stream. Audio and all, as far as I'm understanding. So I can see what's going on in that stream and what's happening. But before I even had to click on the stream to go to interact with that streamer. And that's supposedly going to help small streamers be discovered.
Okay, so I can see two sides to this. Because you know me, I always look at both sides.
You got to.
Positively, I can see where some people may be curious about your stream. They don't want to go into it yet, but they are curious as to what's going on, and that ability to see what's going on may say, oh, well, I might like this, and then them click it.
Yeah.
And that might help you get more views. So that part, they may have right.
Mm-hmm.
However, The opposite side of that is on that list of streams that they're looking at.
Mm.
Where are you? And how many people did they hover over before they got to you? That same footage that would draw them in for you just drew them in for somebody else.
Mm. Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or yeah. So there's the potential for help, but it's only going to help you if you're at a certain height on that list. Because I'm going to tell you, me personally, when I'm on Twitch, if I'm looking for a stream to watch, usually it's you or Stealthy or Twilight or somebody I know anyway.
Yeah.
But if none of you, or, well, friends on whatever, if none of you guys are on and I'm wanting to watch a stream, generally I will type in the topic, say Genshin Impact, and I'll start, and I may go through the first top 10, right?
Yeah.
And look at them. I'm not going to go much below the top 10 because I'm not going to scroll all day. I promise you, usually somewhere in that top 10, somebody's going to be playing in an area that I want to see, more than likely, and with a character I want to see.
Mm.
So I'm probably going to go back and say, you know what, out of the top 10, this is the one, and go there.
Yeah.
So if you're in that top 10 section, that little window pop-up will be great because you no longer have to click in and see what's going on, click out. Click in, and that's going to help there.
Yeah.
But if you're not in that top whatever window that the average viewer scrolls through before they pick, you're still not getting any benefit from it.
Mm.
Matter of fact, it may even lessen the benefit for you from the standpoint that now they can scroll through those top 10 really quickly. They don't have to click on it. They get to see it and then just jump in because they already seen someone doing what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a potential for good, but there's a potential for bad.
Yeah, like they might catch you in like a great moment. It's like, oh my God, something's happening right now, and it seems really fun. I'm like, click in and go into it. But as soon as they go into it, though, my mind is going to be, you're still going to see an ad the moment you join in my stream. So most people immediately see that and get annoyed. Because like, oh my God, there's an ad, there's some hype going on right now, and I'm missing out on it. And the chat's going like, crazy or whatever. I want to be amongst whatever's happening. And then 10 to 15 seconds later, that moment's already gone. The ad's up, and then you're like, there with that moment. But like, hopefully that moment happens again. So I could see like maybe helping because they think they capture that moment without having to go to immediately go into the ads.
All right, so Kronks is doing his big boss scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see from the little playback when I'm looking, when I'm hovering and looking around that's what's fixing going. I clicked in it and missed the whole damn boss scene because of what you just said, an ad right out the gate. And I'm going, are you freaking serious? Like, really?
Yeah. Some people want to see that. Some people want to be involved with that. Somebody want to hear someone's commentary on that or whatever it might be. The moments are fleeting. They're here and gone.
I got pissed off earlier when Stealthy was streaming.
Mm.
That was what, yesterday? Streamed yesterday, didn't you? Was it this morning? Maybe. I don't know. I got pissed off because I am subbed to her damn channel.
Mm-hmm.
Or I was. When I checked it, when this happened, I was. Did it go out? Anyway, the point is that even when I've been subbed, I've went into her channel. She'd be in the middle of something I really wanted to see. I get an ad. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm subbed. Why am I seeing this ad?
Yeah, and that really takes away from the experience. And of course, what I think, and I could be wrong. I don't know really. I'm not really an expert in ads at all. But this is one cool little thing I've noticed that Window Edge does, or whatever you want to call it. Because I pulled up, the little voice chatting thing on Windows Edge just by itself. And I pulled up Twitch channels before on there because I'm like, I've got it pulled up. I'll just go to Twitch and go watch somebody. What they do every now and then, the channel stream will like kind of shrink
And put it at the bottom.
And put it at the bottom around the edges.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that my phone has started doing that. My phone has started doing that. So I am curious if that is something on the browsers.
It's on the browser.
I'm curious if it's on the browser. Like when I say that, whether it's Edge or the browser on my phone that I'm using to get to Twitch, or if it's something Twitch is trying to push out because it did it on Chrome on my phone.
I've only seen it because I have Firefox, Opera, and Edge. I've only seen it from my happenstance on Edge. Haven't had it on Opera, haven't had it on Firefox. Maybe yet. Maybe it's they chose certain people to have this happen to them. But I'd much rather that. It's less intrusive. I definitely do see it. It's like it's noticeable that the string goes ew, and then there's a little either video feed or a little ad right below it, words and blah 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 blah, and then when it's done, full screen.
Watching last night.
Yeah.
Who?
You're not son.
I was. Who were we watching last night? When we were watching, somebody was doing the game I want. Who?
Corey?
Corey. So I noticed when we was watching Otter.
The one in the shark costume?
Yeah, Otter. So we were watching. I was watching Otter doing Query last night, right? Because I wanted to see if she made the same decision that Friendzone made.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there anyway. But I noticed even in my Chrome, it was doing it. It would shrink it up, put it at the bottom, and then as soon as the ad went away, it'd go back to full screen.
And you definitely see it. And like that to me is much more streamer friendly because we are live in the moment. There is no pausing the stream and playing the stream from where you lost when the ad popped up. Like that don't happen. It doesn't pick up where the ad ended either.
And you know what? That reminded me. I wanted you to hear something that I did for Stealthy. I made some recordings she's been asking for.
Oh yeah, the voice slides. Yeah.
I want to see where. Give me just a second. Fine.
Okay, while you're doing that, I want to bring up my next idea. I don't know. I'm not a genius. I'm not gonna say it either way.
Here we go. I'm gonna push. I'm gonna push my mic closer to the speakers. I want to make sure you hear it.
Okay. Okay, that was a little choppy, probably because the mic was picking up the high and lows of your vocal points.
Okay, hang on a minute. This is gonna get loud. I'm turning the speakers up, and I'm extending the mic.
Can I cover my ears?
Yes, I'm extending the mic. Here we go.
Your soul is mine.
Okay. Rip headphone users, if you have your volume on 100%, your soul is mine. Okay.
Yep, and then I'll replay the other one. Give me a minute. Come on. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Okay, it's picking up here and there, but I can definitely hear it. Okay, so you did a little bit of a holding that voice for a long time would hurt my vocals, but I'm trying to practice with them. Okay, so
I used to use that voice all the time. So
your muscles probably are used to them that tone of voice. Okay, so my next idea for Twitch, and I don't think they're ever gonna take these ideas, but let's say I know you're one of those people. You don't like watching a streamer that has hundreds of thousands of viewers. You don't like that field.
Or should I send them back to you?
That scenario or that environment. You like a smaller stream environment where you can actually take part and talk to the actual streamer without having to talk to hundreds of thousands of other viewers, right? You like the small streamers.
I'm good as long as it's entertaining.
There you go. You should be able to hear them better now. Sent them to you in Discord.
Okay, so let's say you are one of those people that don't like that environment. You don't want to go in there
Right.
and see the chat going 1,000 miles per hour and hoping the streamer will see what you said, or you know, you're not really entertained by the chat. You're more entertained just by the streamer by itself. So you whatever, right? And I go, okay, I want to watch stream. I don't feel like being in a part of a big stream. I think you should be able to choose, kind of like when you go shopping online and you go to, let's say, Google, and you go, okay, what I can afford is somewhere between $20 and $80. That's my field of how much money I can spend. That's what I want to be able to do when it comes to viewers and a channel. I want to watch a stream in between 5 viewers and 50, or 0 views and 12, or something like that, and have a scope. Not really have to say, like, you know, allow for maybe 5 up or 5 below, whatever, and a field so I can go, hey, I want to go support and watch a small streamer. This is my group, and I want to go and check out streamers like that and maybe get part of the community. Or let's say, hey, I want to help out a small streamer. What's my idea?
See that.
I
can see that.
Yeah, what's my idea of a small streamer? Well, maybe my idea of a small streamer is somewhere between 200 to 500 viewers. And I'm a huge streamer.
That's why you don't want to set limits on what's small, medium, and large. You want them to be able to select a beginning and end number.
Yeah. And like,
if you set limits, then I mean, what I consider small and what you consider small might be two different things.
Yeah.
Like, you may consider 1 to 50 small. I may consider 1 to 100 small. You know, so they need that sliding scale to be able to be.
Yeah, and like if I go to a channel, or not a channel, a category, and that category is set to that scale, I want to find viewers. And if I'm a big streamer and I want to go, you know what, I want to be nice to somebody small today. My idea of small is 200, 500. I go put the 200, 500. I go to set category. There's a list of those things. They're not as big of a pool either. They're a smaller pool now. They're not an ocean. They're like a pond or a lake size of streamers. And I can choose one of them and make their freaking day and go raid them. I like them. So now I can see their stream because I can hover my mouse over them. I see their stream. I see what's going on. I hear them. I like what's happening. Or maybe I have it pulled up on my stream so everybody else can see it. I go, I like what I've seen. Click, raid, go. Like that to me would be very easy for somebody to find smaller streamers if they like that environment. Or I could find a little bit bigger because I have what I feel comfortable being a part of.
I can see that.
And I think that'd be helping out. That would probably help out more people find streamers. I already know that because I'd be one of those things that I would say beta test it. But if feelings are one thing, testing it out in real life and see if it works is a totally different thing. And how big of a scale would you test it on to see if it actually has impact? You know, we can test it on 50 people. Is that really going to be equating to thousands, if not millions, if not billions of viewers? No. It's going to be hard to really equate if that really worked or not. If you're, you know, even if it's sort of small to a large group of people.
I know exactly what you mean.
So I'm hoping that maybe someday, I don't know if they will, they might just not have the want to do that, kind of like YouTube. They do stuff that they think is a good idea, but they ignore the user base entirely. Like get rid of the thumbs up and thumbs down thing. Like, oh, just ignore the user base. No, we don't care about them. We think it's a good idea though. If the user base says no, it's not a good idea, you think you would listen to them. You know, the people that actually have skin in the game.
Yeah, well, you know how that goes. They do what they think is best. I mean, and let's be honest, if it was your business, you would do what you think is best. I mean, you might, me or you may would listen a little bit more to the user base, but when it come down to the end of the day, you know that everybody thinks they're right.
Well, yeah. I have done stuff like this before, but not like in a money sense. But if my user base was what making me money and what was making me famous and rich or whatever, like, and I listen to my viewers when I'm watching a stream or leaving me a comment, leave a comment down below if you like this podcast. I will listen to them because they're the reasons why I'm even successful. You know, they're the reason why I'm making it. You know, if I had 1 million subscribers, please, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be listening to them because they're the reason why I'm making millions of thousands of dollars. But at the same time, I would have to be in mindset that like, okay, are they are they messing with me? But I know their companies, they have stock, they have investors, they have all those people. So they're trying to make them happy. I don't think you ever make them happy. Honestly, I don't think you ever could make them happy because all they care about it's end of the day is, are they making more money than they made yesterday? That's all they care about.
Right.
Like, if I don't make more money than I made yesterday, we got problems.
Look at this.
Ooh. Chess piece?
Yep.
You're
it's
gonna have
the Breath of the Wild. It's the Breath of the Wild Mifa.
Yeah, you're gonna have so many like odd end chess pieces when people come up to your house. I'm like, okay, I know the positions, but like
this one is stealthies. I'm gonna make her all the champions as chess pieces, so that she could sit them up on her desk or whatever. The only thing I got that I need to do left on it is sand the bottom. But the rest of it's yeah.
Where's that Blastoise that Stealthy was polishing the other day? I want to see that.
Took it to work to
Never
show
mind.
it to the guy.
Never mind.
I gotta bring it back because she told me I gotta bring it back.
Okay.
But oh my god, that thing is beautiful.
So polishing that much did really do some.
Oh hell yeah! And I'm gonna tell you now, I'm fixing to get her a Dremel tool with a buffing wheel on it. Save her some wrist action.
Yeah.
Because but dude, he comes in every morning since I've took it back to work and let him look at it. And Stealthy will like this. He comes in every morning for about 2 minutes. He'll sit his phone upside down, flick the light on, and sit it on top of it so that it shines up through it because it's like blue glass now. I mean, he loves it. He wants me to make a base that one of the little lights that I have will fit in.
Yeah.
So that he could turn it on, sit it in the base, and sit the ball on top of it, and it'd be lit up. You know?
There's a couple of Pokeball holder bases already out there. All you have to do is maybe scale it or increase the height of it, and then do the hollowing out for the inside of where the light goes at.
I hadn't really went out there and looked yet, but I'm gonna work on it. But right now, I am actually working on modeling those pieces I told you for Genshin, because I have, that I have several models already of Genshin. So what I'm doing now is scaling them, putting them on the right base, making them all one piece. And I'm hoping to print me out some of those because I like them. I know it sounds stupid, but I set the I set the Hogwarts one on my desk and the Raptor one on my desk at work that I got.
Yeah.
And I like them being there. They're not big. They're not in the way. They're just little pieces. And they sit there, and when I'm getting aggravated, pissed off, or whatever, they seem to help. Just because it's like, you get to go home. You can go home and do this later, Plus, there's a lot of people at work, like Lambo, he plays Genshin, and a few other people play Genshin at work, and they always come over and ask me, when are you going to bring in a Genshin model? When are you going to bring in a Genshin model? And I'm like, look, dude, the ones that I got done are the larger ones, and I don't want to bring them in here because I don't trust you guys not to walk off with them. If it's a little chess piece, I'm less likely to try to shoot you in your Achilles tendon.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Mel had to take her rook home because like every 2 or 3 minutes somebody was coming by wanting to look at it because I printed a rook.
Yeah.
A larger rook. It had the double helix in the center, and a staircase. And dude, everybody has been going by her desk looking at that thing ever since she bought it from the thing.
Mm.
So
I found that model,
she's
by
like-
the way. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, the double. It was definitely 2 stairways going up, and I found it.
What was really cool is on that model, I took out all the inner supports before I printed it. The ones that were
Yeah.
gonna hold up the staircase and stuff, there was no need for them.
There's no need. Yeah.
So when it printed out completely clean inside. I just had a few supports on the outside to pop off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did a little sanding on the bottom. Done, and it is beautiful.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was pretty cool myself. But I hope you probably get Anime's print done. I know you still got to finish the other or fix the other printer.
I'm working on Animes right now. Before I print another piece besides the head,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing some polishing on the head because it finished printing while I was asleep.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it off until I got up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I washed it, and I thought I got it really good. But in the curing process, there's a little bit of white shit here and there, and you know what that is. That's residue.
Yeah.
So what we're doing now, before I go and do anything else, to make sure I don't have to reprint this head,
Mm-hmm.
Stealthy's working on polishing it here and there to see if the polishing process, because there's some grit in that liquid, the first 2 stages.
Mm-hmm.
See if if the rubbing of it will take that out.
Yeah.
So that when she buffs it and shines it, if it goes away. If that's the case, I've already got the models ready to go. I'll move on printing it, but I don't want to start printing something else if this part isn't right. If that makes sense.
Yeah. How did the villain, I forget her name, from Final Fantasy VIII's chess piece, how'd that turn out?
Idea came out okay. I'm trying to fix a problem with the model that I didn't realize until recently.
Mm.
So, you know enough about 3D printing to know that sometimes you make a piece of a model, a negative space, so that when you touch a model, it makes the proper indent.
Yes.
Right? And then you flip it back to solid and merge the 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that works. Well, modeled the horn, flipped it to negative space, touched it, made the indent, merged it, never made the horn solid again.
Oh, so it was
when
thin.
you open, no, it's just not there. It doesn't print. You see it in the 3D print program because obviously there's an object there. It's just negative.
Yeah, but the printer doesn't see it.
When the printer prints it, it doesn't see it.
Because of the walls are too thin.
So I've got to go through, find, because it's done in layers. So like when I say layers, I mean like this feather is a layer, this feather is a layer, the body is a layer, the cap is a layer, the horn's a layer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only problem is there's over 1,000 feathers in that model. And none of the layers were named uniquely. They're all named Idea 10001 through Idea 1184, right? So there's like 1,000 and some odd freaking layers. None of them named uniquely. So now I've got to go through and start turning layers off in the program until everything disappears except for what I want.
The horn.
And then I can make the horn solid. It's not that I don't know how to fix it. It's just going to be a time-consuming thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, when I printed it, everything came out beautifully.
Definitely seems like a bit of a pain in the ass, but it's doable. Just long process.
I gotta sit down, start going through it, find the horn.
Okay. Well, that's a very long process, but I wish you luck. I've had models like that where like I could see the model, it looked great, but as soon as I started printing, like almost nothing printed because like the walls were just too thin that the printer didn't pick up the walls, and I printed the whole thing and it'd be like this one piece that would be like a solid piece because the walls of it were thick enough. I'm like, well, that was useless. I ain't about to go figure out which wall was too thin and figure out how to thicken it up. I ain't doing that.
Right. So I'm gonna sit down and go through that and find the horn because it's literally the horn here
Mm.
and the one at the back is literally the only ones like that. So I can see that it was just an accident. It was just, you're tired, you forgot to make it solid.
Mm.
I didn't notice it because when you look at the rendering, it shows it,
Yeah.
It's just an accident, not a big deal. I will find it, I will fix it. I'm getting actually a lot better inside a Blender.
Mm.
I told you I bought the Blender training course from Udemy, right?
Yeah.
I've been going through that thing. I'm learning a lot of crap in that program, and plus the new Blender is a little more. The new version is a little more intuitive.
Mm.
Like if you've done any art program stuff,
Yeah.
you should be able to find your way around enough to usually find what you're looking for, and once you learn it, you're not gonna forget it.
No joke. I literally heard a song. Someone did a parody of Do you remember 24th night of December? You know that song? I'm pretty sure most people do. Someone did a song. I'll send it to you on Twitter. They did a song with. Do you remember? Blender? The from the very program you're working on 3D modeling, and somebody did a parody on it. I'm like, I don't know nothing very much about Blender, but it was fucking hilarious. I'm like, I get it. It makes sense when she's describing it and going through the details. I'm like, I can see that. Like, I didn't know what Blender or how to use Blender, but she made it where I was able to comprehend her annoyance. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I've been through around 30 miles for a while now. I don't make them, but I know damn well what the hell you got to do to make them. What they do to make them. I would love to learn to work Blender, but I need to learn how to do rigging for VTubing first because I really want to get that going. But anyways, we're gonna call it there. Unless you have anything else you want to bring up.
No. I got the perfect thing for you to play with when you start your rigging. You can try to figure out something for me.
Yeah.
There's your project to figure out. Just figure it out.
I just gotta figure out the model to do first. Then I gotta figure out how to actually rig it. It's not a really easy process. Apparently there's a website called Skits or Skeets or some. I don't know if its name is Skeet, but I forget the name of it. On that one. Let me see if I can figure it out real fast.
It's called Skips or Skeets or something.
Let me look
I've
it
seen that website and my browser says it's not safe.
Skib. His name's Skib. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Apparently it's it's a bunch of Americans can get on it, but it's Japanese based. You can hire people to make your VTuber for you. And they're like Japanese anime drawers on there, like a bunch of them. They're really, really good. You can get them for a decent price, and that's how a lot of VTubers are getting their models are from that website. And by the money, I probably would buy that. But anyways, like I'll probably get them to do a model for me of Grumpet, so I can do my idea and then get your model going from them at some point because I'm sure they'll do it better than I could for sure. But anyways, I want to learn how to rig models. I do. I think that's getting more and more interesting. I definitely can see an anime someday being made in that program, where somebody takes a 3D model of an animated character that can actually puppeteer. I don't know. It'd be cool someday to do that. Anyways, so that's it. That's it all today. I hope you had a good time here. Please sure leave a comment down below with your thoughts and your opinions on some of the things we discussed. I'd like to hear if y'all think the sharing the Twitch ban is a good idea. Would you have the right set of mind? Do you think you have the right set of mind to be able to pull the trigger if someone is threatening you or someone else's life right beside you? Do you have the mental fortitude for that? I'd like to hear what y'all's thoughts down below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'd like to hit 100 before the end of the year. Please help me hit there. Please help me get there by sharing and telling your friends, have them subscribe, and check this out next week live at 5 o'clock Central PG time here at the BearThoughts channel. And as always, you have a good day, have a good night, have a good life. Much love, y'all. Bye, boy.